Welcome to Ask Rich and Ed from Procurement Says No.
Woo.
We get a lot of listener questions, which we love to answer with insightful views and advice. Now we've created a whole new way of listening to Ask Rich and Ed with bite-sized mini podcasts full of useful answers to your questions.
Ooh, nice. Bite-sized chunks.
Let's see what questions we've got this time, Ed.
Well, Rich, will they be fatuous or inane? Or insightful or inane? Let's make it real.
Boom. So this one is from Lisa Norden from Helsinki in Finland. I've just taken over sourcing for travel and have little knowledge of the category. Why should we bother using one of the big corporate travel agencies when everything can be done online, direct with hotels and airlines, or through Booking.com or Skyscanner or others? What do you
Sounds
reckon,
like
Ed?
Wild West. The first question on travel, the starting point is the travel policy and what's needed and what the rules are, not who you use. You've just taken over the category. You don't know much about it. Before we think about who we're going to buy from and who's going to provide the service, hotels, trains, planes,
Automobiles.
I think you've got to think about what your policy is. There may be reasons in your business why you need to use a big corporate travel agency. Okay, so lots of companies want to know where their key personnel are all of the time in case something happens. We've had lots of horrid events around the world, terrorist events, stuff like that, planes being blown up, such like. Or your business may well need to understand where everybody is and what's going on, etc. And there may be certain standards that need to be applied in the way that you travel, the hotels you stay at, etc. You might want to have a certain level of control, which is why you might use an agency, because the agency will apply your policy. For some companies, using Booking.com to book hotels could be entirely reasonable as long as they follow the rules. So if you're saying use only £60 hotels, $60 hotels, $80 motels, whatever, then yeah, you could. But it's sort of, you need to make sure that you can apply it. You could use Skyscanner and such like.
Yeah. I agree with all that. I think it depends on volumes and numbers of users. If you're a big organisation, it might be worth having it all in place, as you say, just in terms of managing information. But also there's kickbacks, there's service levels, which might be worth happening. Travel is one of those categories where users will always claim they can get a better deal anyway, won't they? So, and when they can't, or when something goes wrong, they blame procurement anyway. So you can't win, I think, on travel.
Just one other thing that I did come across with a company I work with, safety at a hotel, and particularly for female members of staff, to stay in a hotel that's in the wrong side of town or doesn't have secure parking. And if you allow people to go through, Booking.com and other platforms, you might find that you don't adhere to some of those basic safety standards that you'd expect to have in place. So maybe sometimes it's better to pay a little bit more to make sure that your staff are secure.
And this is the next question, which sort of follows on from what you just said there, Eduardo. This is from Charlie Cram in Hong Kong. Should we use AirB&B for staff accommodation rather than hotels? What are the pros and cons? So another similar to the last one.
The pro of Airbnb is probably comfort. For some people, it can be more pleasant. It can also be cheaper than a hotel. And the accommodation, if you've got a couple of people in a Airbnb with a couple of bedrooms or 2 or 3 bedrooms.
Would that be a long-term, as a long-term thing or as a short-term thing?
No, short-term, I think. I think Airbnb is a ready alternative to hotels, isn't it, I think?
With hotel chains, I guess certainly in the early days of Airbnb, with hotel chains, you know what you're getting, I guess, in terms of brand promise to an extent and loyalty programs.
I think that the con to it is perhaps the flip of security, whereas, some people might prefer to be in a hotel because they've got their own room, the door's locked, all that sort of stuff. They feel secure.
The only thing I can think of there, Charlie, is that if you've got the whole of the business faffing about looking at Airbnb sites all the time, your general efficiency of the business is going to go downhill. Everyone spending 20% of their day looking at hotel rates might not be the best use of their time.
Right. Next question. This is again from the United States. Cal Lewis, who's based in Cincinnati. One for you, Rich. What is above-the-line marketing, and why won't our marketing team work with me to help them reduce their prices and improve their deals? They're not listening, Rich.
Above-the-line marketing is all the big, unfocused kind of generating brand awareness stuff, isn't it? Like TV advertising and radio advertising and billboards and untargeted ads on social media. So the less targeted side. So it's the real creative stuff. And I guess marketing people worry that procurement people don't get creativity, darling. And we'll try to put a price on it, and they'll try to be logical, and they'll try to be rational, which in the world of marketing and creativity is just off limits, sweetie.
Yes. Perhaps, Cal, using the word price is very offensive to a marketing person. I think that perhaps you should talk about value and value add and creativity within your messaging to them. So I think there's perhaps tailoring your message to suit your audience. You're there to help them get more from their suppliers, get more creative ideas, or get better promotional programs, etc. So don't use the word price with marketing folk. They think about shiny things.
Yeah, think about creativity, innovation, things of beauty, shiny, lovely things.
Yeah. They're watching adverts on TV these days. I think that's gone by the wayside.
Yeah, it has.
They're really dull.
Yeah, there's some really crap adverts.
Yeah.
If you ever watch telly, if you do watch telly, what's telly? And the next one is from Roger Blanc from Marseille in France. In the opinion of Rich and Ed, which spend areas offer the biggest savings opportunities?
Whichever ones we're working on, of course. No.
Point Ed at it. He'll be just making savings left, right and centre.
Yeah, just like tail spend. In terms of percentages, I think I've worked with a few clients looking at their tail. Talk to people like Amazon and others, and you seem to be able to get about 20% for your tail.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the biggest absolute number, but in percentage terms, probably the biggest area. And then anything that's untouched.
Yeah.
It's rare to ever see a category that you can't influence. Maybe the exception when we talk about enterprise agreements and stuff when they're in flight.
Yeah, I agree. I think it depends on the type of business you're in and what you spend where, but I think I agree. It's the ones where no one has paid attention for the last 10 years. It's the ones where it's not strategic to the business, it's perceived as non-strategic, or it's perceived as too hard, or it's perceived as not interesting. They're the ones that you should have a look at and do some marketplace analysis. See where the barriers to entry are low, where there's possibility of substitution, where there's loads of new suppliers or new entrants, then they're the ones to look at. Depends on each business, isn't it? Some businesses may not have looked at their IT for years. Some businesses may not have looked at their corporate travel for years. So look for the area where the last time someone signed the contract was in 1937.
Hopefully you're not still buying the same stuff that you bought in 1937.
Right, the next one is from Sebastian Overt from Melbourne in Australia. Would you recommend any other procurement podcasts to your listeners that you listen to, Ed?
I know people are going to be concerned when I tell you this. The only podcast I've ever listened to is our podcast.
But now we know that there are lots of others out there. We didn't know this before, but we're actually in the top 20 of one and 26 of whatever it was, 60 procurement podcasts. You know what we need to do, Ed? We need to listen to them all over the next month or so and give detailed feedback and notes on all of them.
Good luck, Rich.
That's all the questions from this time.
Super duper.
All answered beautifully. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.